I was personally hoping that you guys were going to vote for insider trading over private sale. I find that the insider trading story is maybe a little bit spicier than the private sale episode. However, they're both really good. I suspect that you guys went for the private sale situation over the insider trading because in today's economy with inflation and the cost of living and whatnot, it probably makes sense that a lot of you out there as homeowners probably want to sell your home privately over paying the ridiculous commissions that are out there nowadays. On a $200,000 home, you got to pay realtors $9,000. On a $500,000 home, you're paying $18,000, and so on and so forth. I can only imagine that having that extra money in your pockets probably makes a lot of sense. Now, one of the problems obviously is private sales are going to be a lot harder to sell, but there's a number of reasons why this is the case, and there's a big one here that has to do with realtors. There's three things I just want to go over quickly here before we head over to the whiteboard. Probably 25% of the time, one of the reasons private sales are very difficult to sell is because the property's in poor condition or it's in a poor location. And, you're either going to have to invest some money into fixing that house up or fixing that property up in order to move it privately. If you leave it the way that it is, it's going to be nearly impossible. And so you will likely need a realtor to move that property. They're very good at talking buyers into spending money. Another reason, probably another, say 25% of the time, you guys as sellers, when it comes to private sales, you're not investing enough time and effort into doing what you need to do, getting your home out there so that buyers know that it's for sale. And to be quite honest with you, it's really not a whole bunch of time. I've actually helped a couple people here in the last little while. I've coached them and helped them sell their homes privately, and they literally only spent I think one spent maybe 6 hours and the other one spent 5 total time, and they sold their homes privately and saved thousands of dollars. And then lastly, the big one, something that you guys are probably not aware of, the big one is that realtors are actually slandering private sales a lot. I will be honest with you here, I've definitely worked private sales with realtors. Me doing the home inspection for my client, and there was a realtor representing the buyer, and so it's not like they're able to talk every buyer out of a private sale. However, they are very good at it, and a lot of private sales are being slandered by realtors. And I use the term slander because they are just blatantly telling lies about some of your homes that are, listed privately out there in the market to steer buyers away from it, so that they can steer them towards a house that's listed through a brokerage. So I think it's important at this point now here that we pop over to the whiteboard so that I can actually show you guys why they are doing this. Okay, so I got just a little bit of a diagram here. Obviously, my brother was the one that got all the talent in regards to drawing and whatnot, but it will serve its purpose. Just before we start, I do want to say that a traditional private sale, generally speaking, has a buyer and a seller, and there's no realtor involved, but that doesn't mean that a realtor cannot be involved in a private sale. Generally, what happens is a buyer is going to be out there looking at houses that are listed through brokerages with a realtor, and they may come across a private sale. And when they come across this private sale, they generally speaking want their realtor to make contact with the seller. And so this is basically what we're talking about here, is this situation where a buyer has been working with a realtor and they come across a private sale and they want the realtor to represent them. And so the realtor makes contact with the seller. So up top here we have FSBO. In the industry, FSBO is known as a FSBO or a for sale by owner. So this is the private sale up here, and down here I have a brokered listing. And what I want to show you is why realtors are going to push people towards a brokered listing over a for sale by owner. So obviously over here I have the buyer and then the buyer's agent, and basically what happens is because the brokered listing has a signed contract. Okay, and so the commission is already under contract and it's designated so that the agent, the realtor, they know what they're going to get paid to sell this house over here. The problem that they have with for sale by owners is when the buyer comes across the for sale by owner and they instruct the agent to contact this seller, the agent calls the seller and says, "I'd like to show your home. Would you allow me to do this?" And if the seller says yes, the very next question that they're going to have, this agent, for this seller, is how much are you going to pay me? And that right there is what causes the problem, because generally speaking, this seller who went private is trying to avoid paying the commission, and rightfully so, because commissions have gotten so ridiculous. And so when this agent asks them, what are you willing to pay, it's generally speaking not going to be even close to what the brokered listing is going to pay the agent. And so what ends up happening is the agent gets an answer, and like I said, the money is not the same as selling this place down here. So then this agent, I'm not saying it happens all the time, but they will come back to the buyer and they will start telling lies. So I'm gonna actually pop back over to my desk so that I have access to the real life situations so that I can explain to you some of the different ways and some of the different lies that realtors will tell this buyer right here about this place. All right, I'm back at my desk here, and I got 3 examples that I want to give to you. They're actually real life examples. I've seen this hundreds of times where realtors are steering people away from for sale by owners to sell them a house that's listed through a brokerage. It's happened hundreds of times. I've witnessed it so many times, but I got 3 examples here for you guys. There was this one instance where that exact situation that I showed you on the whiteboard happened, and the realtor came back to the buyer and stated that the home had major foundation issues, which it didn't. It was a blatant lie, but a lot of times buyers are very, well, gullible and naive, and they just took it for what it was. Now, these people are actually friends of mine, and they ended up buying a house that was listed through a brokerage, and so they missed out on that other house that they really wanted, that one, that for sale by owner. So that one there, yeah, lied about the foundation having problems. Another example that I had here that I'm looking at, a realtor told a buyer in this exact situation that for sale by owner house had constant water problems in the basement. So again, lied about the house, had no evidence to prove this, and sure enough, steered the clients to buy a house that was listed through a brokerage. And then lastly, I've had situations where the realtor will tell the buyer that the private seller actually already has an offer when they actually don't. Obviously this causes the buyer to go, oh, I guess I missed out on the house, but they actually didn't. So buyer, this next statement here is for all you buyers out there. When it comes to this situation, you guys cannot allow realtors to make contact with the sellers anymore. You guys need to step up to the plate, and you need to make contact with these sellers yourself so that you can go see the home yourself. Because a lot of times, like I said, and like I've showed you on the whiteboard, realtors have motives to steer you away from these properties because they're not going to make as much money. So again, buyers, when you're in these situations, don't ask the realtor to make contact with the for sale by owner seller. Do it yourself and go look at the home yourself so that you can get your own opinion and so you're not influenced by it. All right, lastly, I imagine after watching this video, I imagine a lot of you homeowners and sellers out there are maybe a little scared now that I have passed along this information in regards to realtors slandering for sale by owner properties. However, I believe different. I think this should empower you guys. I think one of the first things you guys can do to help put a stop to this is click that share button. The more people that see this video, the more buyers that are going to be aware that realtors are doing this, and so they're going to stop taking their advice, right? They're going to stop listening to their lies on this kind of stuff. So you guys can start just simply by sharing this and getting this message out to as many people as possible, and we can change this. Okay, some other things that I want to pass along to you guys as sellers is when you guys are going to go for sale by owner, one of the first things you should be doing is Google standard offer to purchase for your law society for whatever province or state that you're in. I did a little research yesterday, and you can go right to the law society for your province or state. There is a standard offer to purchase form on their website that you can download and use. Now, I also made a couple calls to some law offices around town, and for a range of $150 to $500, an attorney will help you fill that form out if you feel that it's not within your capabilities. So for a small fee compared to what a realtor is going to charge you to do the same thing, you can get your offer to purchase filled out adequately. On top of that, when you guys are choosing to go for sale by owner, you should choose a lawyer before you do it. Choose one and have them in your background so that you can get the deal done. And that goes for both buyers and sellers. Another thing you guys can do is you can take numerous photos with your smartphone. You do not need professional photography to sell your home. Smartphones are great at taking photos, And those photos, or video for that matter, you guys need to be implementing them on the buy and sell sites all over social media. Social media is a huge tool nowadays that is going to help you guys avoid paying these stupid and ridiculous commissions. Lastly, I'm sure you guys are aware out there that there are for sale by owner websites. There's those companies out there that will publish your home for a marginal fee, $500 to $800. They'll publish your home to their website, and generally speaking, it will get your home out there on a bunch of platforms. Their website, you can share the links. On top of that, I made a call to a couple of these companies, and I actually learned something myself yesterday. For an additional small little fee, $100, $200, these companies actually have the ability to get your home listed on the MLS platform. That's crazy. I never knew that. And that's great because for a small little fee, you can get your home, your private sale, listed to the MLS platform. So when a realtor does a search for a buyer, your home is still going to come up in that search. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I think that when it comes to buyers, you guys need to be involved in that process with your realtor when you're giving them your wish list and stuff like that. Don't just let them, type in your wish list into the search fields and let them, maybe pull a private sale out of the listings that they give you for your wish list. Be involved in it, maybe go to their brokerage or meet them for coffee and get them to do it right there on their laptop so that they can't omit a for sale by owner. I think at the end of the day, guys, 70% of the properties out there do not need a realtor to be sold. It can be done without them. There are definitely places for realtors, but I think a lot of the properties out there that get sold every day and stupid, crazy commissions that are being paid out is not necessary. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, it's a little long, but that's the way that it is. As always, knowledge is power, and I'll see you on episode 3 where we are going to do insider trading.